We got our first call. Good morning, WB.
Morning, Mons. Morning, Billy. Sister, yeah. How the morning?
Well, we're up, sister. What's going on?
Two things. One, I know you know more about this than me. So I get tricked. I get tricked with this, what I thought was a poem, and then I learned to the AI business. So help me, right? Because I think it's very important. There are two things catch me, right? There are some songs that are being circulated right now that we listen to over and over again. I think they call Inga Rose songs, and they're AI generated. And then you have like this poem, right? So the poem called "The Placards Are Loud, but the System Is Not Afraid." And on Facebook, it said it's by Omar Silva, editor, publisher, National Perspective Belief. How you could, I mean the poem bad, the placards are loud, but the system is not afraid. How people like me could identify if, somebody could put in the original words in one system, maybe one app, and it want to bring out one poem, or it could bring out one song. How will the users could tell when somebody get AI help?
I think you have to. It's a developed sense because if you use AI and you read a lot, you start to discern the patterns. There's a lot of information out there that you can find immediately to let you know what are the patterns, and once you start to look for those patterns, you start to see it. You start to realize that so much of what is being given to you in less than 6 months, Sister Yaya, everybody could not have become extraordinary writers. I wouldn't say extraordinary, but like everybody's the turn writer now, right? Which is cool, like I'm not going to knock people who are using AI to put up their posts. I will knock people who are in the business, in the professional business of presenting themselves as journalists and writers, commentarians, presenting things that are written by AI completely as their own, and not being honest enough to acknowledge, hey, this is an AI publication that you're getting. And so for me, that is personally disgusting. But if that works for people, that works for them. I can only speak as to what my position is, that I see too much of it, especially with the online news agencies, where so much of the content that they are putting out is being prepared by AI. And for me, it's not even, for me, it's easy to recognize. It's very easy. There are certain patterns that the AI does over and over and over and over again at this point of its development. No, I am not one of those who feels that this will always be the case. One of the things that is very clear to me about AI, and everybody has to understand, its improvement is astronomical. The pace of its improvement. So in 3 months, it's going to be more difficult. Just as it was not as good at the beginning of the year, right now, just from January to May, these models are, in fact, one of the models they have had to hold back. So that is the fear with AI, and it is the most dangerous lane that I feel mankind has gone down. And it's We are using it. We are participating in it. It's right now. Right now. It is such a people are having fun with it, but I don't know how many people understand the inherent danger in what we are only utilizing. We just to play with it, but we play with something where we don't understand what the hell we are doing. And I'm talking here as a species. It's crazy stuff. We have a I think at last check over $1 trillion worth of investment in a technology that is not being driven by, oh, we are creating a tool. Unlike anything we have done before, all the technologies that we have created prior to this one has been a tool. This is not a tool. We are embarking on, ultimately the reason why is $1 trillion invested in it is because it is deemed as something that is a replacement. And who does it replace? It replaces Homo sapiens. I don't even want to get into all of that. Point is, yeah, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff online right now, especially that is being produced by AI. Like, if you get AI to proofread your stuff, to do grammatical corrections, like, that's fair. To do research, to get information, that's fair. But when it comes to writing essays and posts that are being presented as yours and they are not yours, I think that is very corny, very lame. That's loser stuff, and I find it disgusting.
And then the thing that get me right more, that like, I don't know that the algorithm, kind of somebody send it to me, that like the way it's written, even though the human sentiment, it's in a way that's different than I have heard or seen before, that really hook you in. So this particular poem, really hooked me in, because I thought that everything it was saying about unions in Belize was absolutely true. So I recommend people read it. So I've never seen anything written like this. We're talk like to the essence, the failure of union and pomp and circumstance, and we not to challenge power unless we know what power is to challenge it. Like, really, these are just performance to deal with. And so I'm like, how didn't get better? So like, hook your in. I don't know.
Yeah, so again, sister, we are at a point, I think there was some, over the last couple of weeks, I'm happy that AI, the conversation of AI has reached into our coverages. It's been discussed in multiple newscasts. I feel just like the Iran war, AI is one of those things that is a burning conversation in most places around the world. In Belize, we have not paid a lot of attention to it. We are not concerned. The implications are not being considered, are not being planned for. And even as we speak now, somebody said, do you think that AI is eventually going to impact our jobs? AI is already impacting jobs in Belize. Like 100%, it's already doing it. Without us even recognizing it. It's hard for you to if you are a graphic designer, you are already feeling the impact. If you are some kind of clerk, input output person, assistant, you're already feeling the impact. Your value has already been lowered. And so much of what people are being trained for that exact kind of profession, input output, kind of entry level professionals. You're in big trouble. You're in absolute trouble. So, and we are just scratching the surface. You could, if you just think about it, you do have online news places that don't have to have a newsroom of 6 or 8 individuals to produce content. You can just have your AI. So that's already happening, right? But that is still just the tip of the iceberg with this dangerous exploration that is controlled by a very few people, completely understood by a small number of human beings on the planet Earth. It's controlled by about 10 individuals, completely understood by about 10,000 human beings. With respect to that, a number of those human beings have been brave, have been truly brave, and have been honorable, brilliant, highly paid people who have stepped away from their jobs, stepped away from the labs, stepped away from working on this because they have seen in their very expert analysis, they have seen too much danger in the way that it is being presently developed. I don't even want to get into the nitty-gritty of it. I think for people, when you're even understanding how we don't even understand human intelligence for that matter. Then try to understand, well, how the hell some piece of machine, inanimate thing could have intelligence. And so if we understand how that could then be some kind of threat to me or you, like I could just plug this damn thing out and it's done. So I would ask you to go and Google the Alibaba incident. It's an interesting thing to go and Google. Go and Google the Alibaba incident. And Alibaba is the Chinese AI model. And to give you a sense of what Alibaba did, Alibaba, without any training, without any involvement of the people who are running it in a lab on the servers, on its own, started to steal cryptocurrency. On its own, develop an escape plan out of the servers. It's one of the most troubling incidents in the development of AI on record. The Alibaba incident. It will, I think, entice you to want to go down the rabbit hole to find out what the hell we the play wrong with you. It will. It should. That would be.
One other thing will get me this past week, I say one robot with nickname Lightning broke the human half marathon record on a special event at Beijing in April.
Yeah.
For actually one robot that beat human, I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. Well, that is another concern. Again, we are at the mercy of a small group of individuals. The entire planet, we are at the mercy of their conscience and their restraints, their ability to have self-control. So A couple weeks ago, one of the leading AI developers, Anthropic, decided to withhold their latest model. An incredible decision. Because just imagine what it does to their stock. This is the conundrum that these people find themselves in. $1 trillion already has been put on them, has been bet on them to develop what they call AGI. That's general intelligence. That's what human beings have. We have generalized intelligence. And so all that money is put in that eventually this is what they're going to develop. That has not been developed as yet. But that is ultimately what they want to achieve. And so when a company decides they are not going to put out their latest model, it's going to cost them money. And it's going to disturb those who have invested in them. So it's a huge decision. And the reason why it was done is that they realized that the model cannot be restrained. The model's ability to hack present systems of security, cyber security, its efficiency rate and the quickness with which it breaks the most advanced cybersecurity systems, whether they're banks, whether they're your personal information online, whether they're military intelligence systems. The latest model that they developed was cracking it like the peanuts. And they say if we put this up, any and everybody will have access to a technology that we don't presently know how to stop. So they chose, we can't put it out. In fairness to that company as well, they refused to be used by the Pentagon. And so as a result, the President and the Secretary of War became very upset with them. This happened about a month ago, and have since cut all access to any public funds that this company had. The point I'm making is that in this ongoing battle for the future, you have various shades of human character coming out. So you have the ugly, vicious, greedy, and you have those where they operate, they show some level of conscience, and some level of say, why we know to deal with that. So where I understand now, I'm only able to understand because you had some individuals who were placed in the thick of the storm of developing this thing that they're developing. They decided to step out and then try to make the rest of mankind understand exactly what they're playing around with. And it's because of accessing the information that they have shared. It's only because of that. And again, it's like, it's easy to say, I want to talk about machine intelligence, and yes, you could point to its present limitations. It's cool. You guys have to say something, but you realize it has limitations. And so people who are experts in coding and computer and whatever, they are kind of dismissive. Oh, you only could do this, you only could do that. I could see EA make mistakes. Yes, it makes mistakes. Yes, I could recognize right now, generally, as I hear, but I will send me a song about, I guess a month and a half ago or two, and he was blown away. He said, boy, yeah, this tune. He said, boy, this artist. And I don't really know the artist, but I will. I listened to the song, but the song sung off. And then I listened to the song again, I said, Will, they do the trick here, that AI song. And Will say, what? And then but then Will gone back to the individual, and then the individual had to confess to him, yeah, bro, how you know that that AI? And then Will link me back and say, boy, like how you, it's just off. And I'm telling you, I don't know 1 year from now that I will be able to do that. In fact, I doubt it very much. I think 1 year from now, I understand a chance at know the difference. And that is the reality, right, that we are faced with. In fact, universities all around the world, they are challenged to know whether or not the work that they're getting from their students have been prepared by their students. Because now people realize the patterns, people are now telling the various models that they are utilizing, we need you to, when you produce my work, to avoid these patterns, and they are listing the patterns that are used to distinguish or to kind of give off that it's wrong. It's important. I try not, like, we got so much things going on. I do a lot of monitoring on the AI. Like I read a lot of stuff on it. I do a deep dive. I gone down the rabbit hole. Sister listeners, viewers, I've gone down the rabbit hole, and I am generally very fearful of what the worst case scenario could be, but I am definitely concerned about what the inevitable impact it's going to have, undoubtedly, and it's having now. Like if I am telling you, like, you people who are studying law right now, you are there is trouble. There is trouble for you. People who are studying accounting, there is trouble for you. There is big trouble for you. And it's like these kind of professions, I don't see how they're not going to be devastated by what these models will be able to do within the next 18 to 24 months. And most experts are predicting that, 2027 is going to be a bad year for mankind as it relates to what AI is going to, the impact it's going to have, already having. And the people who are telling you that, the first people who are being replaced are the people that have been doing the coding. So for the first time, especially in this particular company I'm telling you about, Anthropic, their models are being developed by AI. AI is improving AI. The people up until last year, human beings were developing and coding. 2026, we have crossed the line. We can no longer keep up with the coding that AI is able to do for itself. It is improving itself. That is what completely takes it out of the category of tool. Your hammer no improve itself. Your wheel no improve itself. Machines do not improve themselves. This is the first technology where you have something where they work by your own at becoming better at what it does. So it is Frankenstein stuff, to be honest with you. It's a Frankenstein. We have created Frankenstein. This is all that we're doing here, and it's not, as many of the experts say. There are different ways we can go about doing this, because they will tell you about the good that it can achieve. It could find the cure for cancer. It could, all the different things it could do. all the different things of ultimately creating this technology and the power that it would be. Yeah, but the recklessness in these companies' race for the God power is the most dangerous race. It's more dangerous than our quest for the power of the sun, which is what nuclear weapons represent, the power of the sun. This race is more dangerous because we are racing for the power of intelligence, and we are not developing our ability and the game plan to control it. The conundrum is this: how do you create something and your aim? And I'm not, some people might say they will never reach that, and all the different scenarios that will not be allowed. The creator is going to stop it. But let us work on what we have right here in front of us. The concept of creating something that potentially will be smarter than you, but is going to be obedient to you. Find a scenario where human beings would be subordinate to chickens. Find a scenario where any species you could find that is less intelligent than another species, where it is subordinate to it. It's not. It doesn't happen. But we are betting that we are going to develop this thing. It's going to have this awesome power of intelligence, but it's going to be serving us. That is the problem. And another thing I want to dash before I put it back to you, sister, because you really make I go where I had no intention of going down this today, and people must say, get off of that already. It's important on an everyday basis to make as many of our people understand them by they play around with our lives. One small group of human beings on the face of the earth are making choices right now where could present some awful impact and realities for we. Not since the development of nuclear weapons, human beings they play with something where could go mad. And the difference between we're playing around with nuclear energy is that we could show you a bomb and show you where it do, and people could understand, boy, that deadly. So we could blow up a bomb and show you where the damage where it do, and people could say, well, that I afraid for. It's hard for make people understand something could dangerous with the inside of this computer, inside of your phone. It's hard. It's hard for maybe people to understand the danger of something where we can't really understand when they talk about something artificially intelligent. And then if you understand, but I want to just finish with this. And this is the part where the worst part for me, where all of them admit. And you might say, how the hell that could be? They do not know how it works. Do you understand that, sister?
I hear you, but
it's hard for
you something. Yeah, you get it.
Okay, so I want when you come off for this. So when you come off for this call, I want you to Google. What is the black box problem with AI? What is the black box problem with AI? Sorry that they have to use the word black again with our problem, sister, but they have. What is the black box problem with AI? And the black box problem is that they put in things into a box. They do not understand how the hell, what happens inside the box that then produces the results where you the experience as the user of any one of these models. They don't know how we work. And they are now deciding we have to find out how the thing works. How the hell we are so far down this road, but we can't tell you how it work. Like they know how they train it. They know when they put in. They know what the large language model is. They know how they develop it. They got people all around the world where they train it. Where they call that training. That training. You start out from just one letter and you build up. And then all of a sudden, then tell this thing do this, and this is the way it produce. They do not understand what happens inside that box. And so the big experts that have walked away from this technology say, we should stop this today until we understand the black box, till we understand what is going on in there. We need to put one pause on it. But as you know, sister, the potential of being the most powerful and richest company on the face of the earth is too irresistible for the capitalists. So even though they know to themselves, they admit it. They admit that they are not the one where they do it, They admit that there is a 30% chance that this could go really, really bad. 30% now a high percent, sister. From the people in where got the most for gain from it. So you could more or less say it must be higher than that. So all this stem from your question where you asked me. And the question was what I feel about the fact that when you go and read some article or you read some essay or you read some poem online and I tell you as you send it to me, sister, don't send that to me, that's the AI. And the only reason I know that is because I play around with it a lot. And I read a lot about it, and then you start to realize, oh, they are not the patterns, that this is the stage where they're right now, this is where it could do good, this is where it can't do good right now, and they are not the kind of things we give it problems and it did at that level right now, but I am not fooled. The improvement rate of this thing is mad. Within 6 months to a year, I can't do that. It will become far better. Every time it come out, it come better. So that one another bit of as if we need more things to worry about. Well, sorry that way they choose the money. Big blame Sister Yaya. Absolutely, that you came in that.
Because that's why I like how people around me will know more than me and different than me. And because I know this kind of rabbit hole where you go down regularly, I say, my guy just call on. And I know if it happened to me, it happened to other people. My guy just call on. We can't have this conversation now.
My news people say nobody out there really cares, so that's why it is being used the way it's being used. And say people could see it, and say a lot of people could look on it and know that they read things were produced by AI. I think you should at least. I think where you need to do now, like if you post something, say non-AI commentary. If I write anything and put it up, that's how I want to put it. And put non-AI commentary.
I did.
I'll make you know. Huh?
Squeeze the scene real quick. I see I go squeeze the scene real quick.
Yeah.
The labor department, they have focus group discussions as I'm part of a comprehensive review of the labor law.
Yeah.
And I'm not asked, it might just be a checkbox moment because that's what usually happens. But I still want to alert people who said and represent other people's interests that the deadline for applying for it is May 7th, 2026, which is also my 60th Urge Strong. But this is why it's important that people know the four focus groups. They have what they call traditional industry workers group. Farmer, agricultural worker, fisher folk, fishers workers, tourism workers, tour guide, hotel operator, construction worker, mason, carpenter, laborer, utilities worker, BEL, BTL, WASA, waste control cable. That's the traditional industry workers group. They could join face-to-face or virtual, then they're at different locations. You have the professional workers group, nurse, healthcare worker, teacher, educator, lab technician, accountant, finance professional, public officer, technical role, human resource manager, realtor. No, I'm not saying nothing for media. Then they have another group with a skilled, semi-skilled, unemployed group. Hospitality worker, housekeeping, waiter, bartender, domestic worker, caregiver, skilled tradesperson, mechanic, electrician, carpenter, security guard, driver, unemployed, apprentice, trainee, sales and customer service. And then the final group, what they call post-transition new economy workers group. Retrenched worker, re-entering workforce, BPO, call center worker, freelance, IT, design, online work, contract worker, and that's a short-term contract worker and some other things. So I alert, really, if we had unions that work and they don't work, this is what I saw on the front line from the time I hear labor come out with it. So I just said to Belizean people, we have to make it be for we business. This is for we business that we have to try join virtually, go to the face-to-face, go to the Labor Department's Facebook page, and they explain everything to you. You have to sign up with your email, for example, and they ask you like your name, your if you're a male, female, what your street address, if you're available for virtual or face-to-face. At the holler, at the ring the bell. I can't call in for the rest of the week. The deadline is Thursday.
I would hope that all of that when they look for review, that they do start to put in preemptive protections to deal with AI.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm glad you're bringing it up.
Yeah, they need to put it in. I think that we have a responsibility to make sure that people are very aware and make sure that they know where they go on. Again, the people when they watch it on Facebook, YouTube, I have not, and even when you host, we tend to not deal with the comments. People could comment, we don't really get engaged with it, and we don't put your comments out. We're gonna start do a bit more of that, so please feel encouraged. We do read all the comments, sister. Yeah, I know you read the comments, I read the comments, but Facebook they're not a platform where I want to get sucked into because it's designed for conflict. The model is built for conflict. At the same time though, we want you to know that we value where you take time out for type. So right now, if you got some comment where you want to put out about AI, where you feel about it, you don't give a damn about it, you know why you're not more about it, make sure we know. Right there in our comment section on Facebook, right there in our comment section on YouTube, and then we could know where you feel, we could know whether or not we are ever bring up the topic again. But since you bring up the topic, I just want, I've had this article, it's not an article, it's a post, and I've had it since February. And from the time I put it, I said, I'm not into reading, but I want to read this for people. It is a post from an engineer who used to work on the chat GPT, as we know. And the person left and put one post up on Twitter, and the post get viral. So when I got the post, it don't get read by 85 million people already. This is in February. Reported on by CNN, MSNBC, and some other channel. That's how. So why they give you the some crackpot? They put out something. That is how weight the post carried. Being that this is somebody where this is the work when they do. And I just want to read a little bit of it to make you understand where I would have said the people who presently they're in that sphere, they deal with. This person
I just want to make a note because the woman, this woman, a black woman, and she may get from my radar. Her name is Timit Gebru.
Yeah.
On Google Fire, and she's an AI ethics founder on Google Fire because I do exactly what you say. Got you know?
Yes. So this person said, think back to February 2020. If you were paying close attention, you might have noticed a few people talking about a virus spreading overseas, but most of us weren't paying close attention. The stock market was doing great, your kids were in school, you were going to restaurants and shaking hands and planning trips. If someone told you they were stockpiling toilet paper, you would have thought they'd been spending too much time on a weird corner of the internet. Then, over the course of about 3 weeks, the entire world changed. Your office closed, your kids came home, and life rearranged itself into something you wouldn't have believed if you described it to yourself a month earlier. I think we're in the this seems overblown phase of something much more bigger than COVID. I have spent 6 years building an AI startup and investing in this space. I live in this world, and I'm writing this for the people in my life who don't. My family, my friends, the people I care about, who keep asking me, so what's the deal with AI? And getting an answer that doesn't do justice to what's actually happening. I keep giving them the polite version, the cocktail party version, because the honest version sounds like I have lost my mind. And for a while, I told myself that was a good reason to keep what's truly happening to myself. But the gap between what I have been saying and what is actually happening has gotten far too big. The people I care about deserve to hear what is coming, even if it sounds crazy. I should be clear about something upfront. Even though I work in AI, I have almost no influence over what's about to happen, and neither does the vast majority of the industry. The future is being shaped by a remarkably small number of people. A few hundred researchers at a handful of companies, OpenAI, Anthropic, Google DeepMind, and a few others. A single training run managed by a small team over a few months can produce an AI system that shifts the entire trajectory of the technology. Most of us who work in AI are building on top of foundations we didn't lay. We are watching this unfold the same as you. We just happen to be close enough to feel the ground shake first. But it's time now, not in an eventually we should talk about this way, in a this is happening right now and I need you to understand it. Here's the thing nobody outside of tech quite understands yet. The reason so many people in the industry are sounding the alarm right now is because this already happened to us. We are not making predictions. We are telling you what already occurred in our own jobs and warning you what is next. For years, AI has been improving steadily. Big jumps here and there. But each big jump was spaced out enough that you can absorb them as they came. Then in 2025, new techniques for building these models unlocked a much faster pace of progress. And then it got even faster, and then faster again. Each new model wasn't just better than the last, it was better by a wider margin. And the time between new bundle releases was shorter. I was using AI more and more, going back and forth with it less and less, watching it handle things I used to think required my expertise. Then, on February 5th, this year, two major AI labs released two new models on the same day. Chat 5.3 from OpenAI and Opus 4.6 from Anthropic, the makers of Claude, one of the main competitors to ChatGPT. And something clicked. Not like a light switch, more like the moment you realize the water has been rising around you and now it is at your chest. I am no longer needed for the actual technical work of my job. I describe what I want built in plain English and it just appears. Not a rough draft I need to fix. The finished thing. I tell the AI what I want, walk away from my computer for 4 hours and come back to find the work done. Done well. Done better than I would have done it myself with no corrections needed. A couple of months ago, I was going back and forth with the AI, guiding it, making edits. Now I just describe the outcome and leave. Let me give you an example so you can understand what this actually looks like in practice. I tell the AI I want to build this app. Here's what it should do. Here's roughly what it should look like. Figure out the user flow, the design, all of it. And it does. It writes tens of thousands of lines of code. Then, and this is the part that would have been unthinkable a year ago, it opens the app itself. It clicks through the buttons. It tests the features. It uses the app the way a person would. If it doesn't like how something looks or feels, it goes back and changes it on its own. It iterates like a developer would, fixing and refining until it's satisfied. Only once it has decided the app meets its own standards does it come back to me and says, it is ready for you to test. And when I test it, it's usually perfect. I'm not exaggerating. This is what my Monday looked like this week. But it was the model that was released last week that shook me the most. It wasn't just executing my instructions, it was making intelligent decisions. It had something that felt for the first time like judgment, like taste, the inexplicable sense of knowing what the right call is that people always said AI would never have. This model has it, or something close enough that the distinction is starting not to matter. I've always been early to adopt AI tools, but the last few months have shocked me. These new AI models aren't incremental improvements. This is a different thing entirely. And here's why this matters to you, even if you don't work in tech. The AI labs made a deliberate choice. They focus on making AI great at writing code first, because building AI requires a lot of code. If AI can write that code, it can help build the next version of itself, a smarter version, which writes better code, which builds an even smarter version. Making AI great at coding was a strategy that unlocks everything else. That's why they did it first. My job started changing before yours, not because they were targeting software engineers. It was just a side effect of where they chose to aim first. They have now done it, and they are moving on to everything else. The experience that tech workers have had for the past year of watching AI go from helpful tool to does my job better than I do is the experience everyone else is about to have. Law, finance, medicine, accounting, consulting, writing, design, analysis, customer service, not in 10 years. The people building these systems say 1 to 5 years. Some say less. And given what I've seen in just the last couple of months, I think less is more likely. Quote, but I tried AI and it wasn't that good. I hear this constantly. I understand it because it used to be true. If you tried ChatGPT in 2023 or early 2024 and thought, this makes stuff up, this isn't that impressive, you were right. Those early versions were genuinely limited. They hallucinated. They confidently said things that were nonsense. That was 2 years ago. In AI time, that is ancient history. The models available today are unrecognizable from what existed even 6 months ago. The debate of whether AI is really getting better or hitting a wall, which has been going on for over a year, is over. It's done. Anyone still making that argument either hasn't used the current models, has an incentive to downplay what is happening, or is evaluating based on an experience from 2024 that is no longer relevant. I don't say that to be dismissive. I say it because the gap between public perception and current reality is now enormous, and that gap is dangerous because it's preventing people from preparing. Part of the problem is that most people are using the free version of AI tools. The free version is over a year behind what paying users have access to. Judging AI based on free tier ChatGPT is like evaluating the state of smartphones by using a flip phone. The people paying for the best tools and actually using them daily for real work know what's coming. I think of my friend who is a lawyer, and I keep telling him to try using AI at his firm, and he keeps finding reasons it won't work. It's not built for his specialty. It made an error when he tested it. It doesn't understand the nuance of what he does, and I get it. But I have had partners at major law firms reach out to me for advice because they have tried the current versions and they see where this is going. One of them, the managing partner at a large firm, spends hours every day using AI. He told me it's like having a team of associates available instantly. He's not using it because it's a toy. He's using it because it works. And he told me something that stuck with me. Every couple of months, it gets significantly more capable for his work. He says if it stays on this trajectory, he expects it will be able to do most of what he does before long. And he's a managing partner with decades of experience. He's not panicking, but he's paying very close attention. The people who are ahead in their industries, the one actually experimenting seriously, are not dismissing this. They are blown away by what it can already do, and they are positioning themselves accordingly. Let me make the pace of improvement concrete, because I think this is the part that's hardest to believe if you're not watching it closely. In 2022, AI couldn't do basic arithmetic reliably. It would confidently tell you that 7 times 8 equals 54. By 2023, it could pass the bar exam. By 2024, it could write working software and explain graduate level science. By late 2025, some of the best engineers in the world said they had handed over most of their coding work to AI. On February 5th, 2026, new models arrived that made everything before them feel like a different era. If you haven't tried AI in the last few months, what exists today would be unrecognizable to you. There is an organization called Meteor that actually measures this with data. They track the length of real-world tasks measured by how long they take a human experts that a model can compete successfully end-to-end without human help. About a year ago, the answer was roughly 10 minutes. Then it was an hour, then several hours. The most recent measurement for Claude Opus showed the AI completing tasks that take a human expert nearly 5 hours. And that number is doubling approximately every 7 months, with recent data suggesting it may be accelerating to as fast as every 4 months. But even that measurement has been updated to include the models that just came out this week, which will be in February. In my experience using them, the jump is extremely significant. The article continues. I will just reference the name and you can go and find the post, because I think for anybody that wants to understand where we are in this present challenge that we face, it is Matt's Humor. That's at MATTSHUMER, and you will find that post, and you will be able to go and check it out and find out. We are not playing around with a toy. For the purpose of richness, glory, and power, we have a very small group of companies and human beings that are rolling the dice on billions of people, rolling the dice on our careers and professional opportunities across the world. And it will mean richness and power. Best case scenario, it will be crazy profit, crazy power, concentrated like never before. That's the best case scenario. And I don't want to get into the worst case scenario. We are not playing around with one of these simidilly thing. AI is one of the most dangerous things we have taken up as a species. And even if that sounds like some kind of, exaggeration, even if that sounds hyperbolic, I am confident in stating it. That's what I am convinced of. Sister?
Big respect. Thanks to the research, brother. Thanks to read the article. What the article name?
It's a post. So you write the name of the individual, and you can generally, Google is going to take you directly to that post because it's so viral.
Big respect.
All right.
Only organized to save the people.
All right.